up into. You grow up, you start having more complicated relationships with friends and the opposite sex. You love them, you do what seems right and what you've been modeled. I think one of the biggest things I've learned that's kind of weird is you have to biblically love yourself while you love the other person. I grew up thinking, it's just one side, you love the other person. And I kind of go into like little kid mode and try to please them. Then I grew up and realized you're equals in the relationships, both adults looking at each other eye to eye. For there to be true love, you have to have things like boundaries, and the same respect you give the other person you require for yourself. I learned another weird thing is sometimes giving and giving with lots of grace and little truth can be destructive to the relationship and them. It's like the equivalent of feeding a horse apples until they burst. The classic example is having a loved one who's a druggie, and you just keep giving them money, and their loved one becomes a junkie and ODs. It's called codependence. Part of true love is not only being there for a loved one when times are tough, but telling them things they need to hear that may not want to hear. There's things that I thought were loving, but they just help them become more selfish and narcissistic. I heard someone talking about kittens, how everyone dislikes it when they play and start biting your feet, but you love them when they purr and cuddle. That loving the kitten is loving all of them, the fuzzy cuteness along with the fierce play. But you don't just put up with the kitty biting you, you train them not to. I think it's such a huge, mind-blowing concept that you have to love the person, all of them, but you don't like the bad behavior, and you don't just put up with it. I just know my little 2-inch square of space. God's word has helped me a lot. It's helped me see a bigger world of relationships. At times, I know I've done what seemed to be the right thing, and it led to brokenness. One can be sincere, but sincerely wrong. I needed God's wisdom to help me out.